Okay, we're live.
International gospel artist.
Okay, hi, everybody. Anybody who's joining now, we are waiting for people to come in. Yeah, this is the story of hope, stories of hope with Samu. Yeah, and today we have my amazing brother, Mkhululi Bhebhe. Highly honored to be having him on the show today. I like it's like I've got butterflies, like just having him on the show. You know, and it's amazing. So, welcome to everybody who's joining. Let us know you guys can hear us. So I just want to kind of like share as well as we begin. Please invite friends, share with everybody. Mkhululi, you want to just say hi to people as we begin?
Oh, hi, Samu, and greetings to everybody who took their time to tune in. It's a privilege and an honor to have an opportunity to speak into your lives. To speak hope into your lives. Yeah, my sister Samu, I am not finding you. I'm trying to share the broadcast, but I am not. I
Samukile
can't. I
Takavingofa.
can't see. I see your profile, but I can't see the. Oh, okay. You're broadcasting on the page
On
on the
my
journey to emotional health.
no, not on the journey, but on my personal page.
Okay, it's the one I can't find, but I'm sure it will appear as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So as I was saying, it's a great privilege and an honor. Yeah, I look forward to a great time with you guys. To God be the glory.
All right. Thank you to everybody who's joining. Let us know you guys can hear us. Yes, we are here with the international gospel artist. And I'm proud to say, when I speak about this guy, I saw him from like grassroots. We were, we were when we were young and when we were youths, we were going together to the same church. And we were not really friends, but I mean, we used to see these guys from Blawayo and like singing and stuff like that. And it was amazing. And then boom, all of a sudden, that guy, I'm hearing people, can you say Mkhululi? He's on Joyous. And we saw him on Idols and all sorts of places. And it's amazing to see where God has brought him. He has traveled to every single continent, believe you me. He changed from just being a musician to becoming an international gospel artist. He's shared the stage with the likes of Donnie McClurkin, you know, this is the guy we're
Wow.
talking about. And what amazes me about Mkhululi is his simplicity. He's so down to earth, his openness. I mean, when I just spoke to him about the show, it was one time. And I guess that's not something you get from all these, famous guys. So I really appreciate that. And I hope we're going to have a good time together. So welcome to everybody. Please share the show. And yeah, I guess we are going to get into it because I know we have time constraints as well. So yeah, this is it. So yeah, I guess we're gonna begin and get right into the nitty gritty of his story. Yeah. So as we start, like I'm saying, I wanted these stories of hope. The major thing is to get hope. And, you know, I want Mkhululi to just share with us a little bit about himself, who he is, to tell us where he's from, just a little bit, just the profile bit, and then we'll get into the story later. Just share a bit with a guest so that they know who they're speaking with or who's speaking with them today.
Well, there's quite a lot to say about myself, but I'll try to keep it as brief as possible
Mhm.
due to time constraints. But Mkhululi Bhebhe is a God-loving, God-fearing child of God. I just love praising God with every part of my body, with every living cell in my very being, because the Lord has been good to me. And maybe in a nutshell, I would want to be remembered as the David of our times. Yeah, even if you forget everything else I say after this, just know that I would love to be remembered as the David of our times. So I was born in a beautiful city called Bulawayo, in the old suburb of Old Pumula. Went to primary school, David Livingstone, primary school, St. Bernard's Primary School. Then I did secondary education at David Livingstone Secondary School, which is a boarding school. Then I did my A levels at St. Columbus High School in Makokoba in Bulawayo. And then from there, I jumped straight into the workforce, because there was a need for me to do that. The burden that is on the boy child. It's not only the boy child, but I'm sure everybody has got their own story, based on their family dynamics and the need, and the lack in the family. So I had to take on work at a very early age, and I contested in several competitions. I've never won a competition. Found my way to Joy Celebration, and then this is me. I'm 36 years old. I am a married man, happily married. Is there anything else I'm leaving out, my sister?
Well,
I'm a solo recording artist as well.
Oh yes, yes, yes. You need a lot of people, when they think about you, they just think joyous celebration. They need to know that you are a solo recording artist, and people out there, you need to hook yourself up with his album. It's amazing, amazing. So thank you to everybody who's joining. Blessing was saying keep going, and thanks for having this great man. Thanks, Led, for joining. Thanks, Tino. And they're saying, wow, the David of the time. Yes, indeed.
Wow.
I just loved how you zoned in on the David of the time. And for me, just made it clear to me that you are a man on a mission. You're a man of purpose.
Yeah.
You are not just holding the microphone and entertaining people. You are a man on a mission. And for me, that's really powerful, because I think so many people are there to entertain, but you seem to have a very specific mission, becoming a David of this time. And I believe God has already set the stage for you, and he's taking you there. So now we want to get into the story. Like I said, I met you when I knew you were very young, and I remember the first time we saw you going to A Academy and all of that. Maybe you want to walk us through some of the details of your journey, that you might want to highlight for today.
Okay. You've said quite a mouthful. It's so beautiful that we literally grew up in the same kind of setup, bumping into each other on those church corridors. And God has really been good. God has been good. And I must say, speaking specifically about the CPZA Academy, which took place in the year 2006, 2007, and 2008. The A Academy was my first attempt at putting myself. When you sing in church, I was used to singing in church. When you sing in church, if you sing off key, whether you sing on key, whether you sing a beautiful song or a very terrible song, brethren will always lie to you. God bless, God bless, God bless your hearts. They'll say powerful, powerful, awesome. But when you throw yourself into the deep end and you allow yourself to be judged according to your talent, they don't even look at your anointing. They look at the talent. They don't even look at potential per se, but they look at the talent. You need to present something that is tangible in their hands.
Right.
And when I contested in 2006, I didn't make it even to the top 10. And in order for you to receive that status of being a contestant in that competition, to receive airplay, for people to see your face over and over again, for you to be memorable, to be remembered by everybody, you needed to make it to the top 10 stage.
Right.
So I didn't make it in 2006. And because I'm stubborn, I'm very stubborn when it comes to my dream, when it comes to music in particular. I've really been stubborn over the years. So 2007, I encouraged myself in the Lord, just like David.
Right.
It didn't even take anybody else to say, no, Mkhululi, you should go for it. Once again, it came from the inside of me. Went there, contested, and then boom, I made it to the top 5 stage.
Wow.
And when I made it, let me tell you something about making it to that stage. You get to realize that there's more to you than meets the eye, because you are coming from a setup where you're just comfortable singing in church, but this time around, you're getting to be recognized in shopping centers. You're getting to be recognized on the street. Everybody's like, MK, Mkhululi, and you're like, oh man, they know me. And it's nice to be known. It's nice to be appreciated. It's nice to be loved. So that's when I got my first experience of love, like on a broader scale than what I was used to. So from there, I remember on the finale of the competition, I cried a river because I didn't win the competition. I lost to this very talented young man called Joseph Lukube. I cried in front of millions of Zimbabweans, and yeah, that's the most memorable thing about CPZA Academy.
Right. That was amazing. Hey, and I love what you said. You like how you were saying you encouraged yourself in the Lord. A lot of times, I think some of us, when we fail the first time, we give up and throw in the towel. But the fact that you didn't make it the first time and you said, no, I'm going back, it's a powerful place of resilience for you. And I love that. So, I mean, take us through a little bit more of the journey from A Academy. What happened? I think the next stage was Idols, I guess.
You're very right. Now, Idols was a whole different experience. In Idols there, hey, Idols it was gigantic. First of all, it was like when we compare in terms of the magnitude of the production itself, Idols was literally 10 times bigger than our small version of Idols in Zimbabwe, which was CPZA Academy, as most of you know it. So when I went to Idols, we were competing. It was 10 countries in total competing against one another. Like, I'm talking about countries in the southern part of Africa, except for South Africa, because they already had their own version of Idols. So it was countries like Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, and mostly East Africa as well, the Kenyas, the Rwandas, the Burundis, and them. So I remember praying to God. I said, Father, if I can just make it to the top 24 stage, because you see, Father, hey, Lord, you see, these are 10 countries. I couldn't even win in my own country. How can I expect to win a competition like competing against 10 other countries, And I'm talking about the creme de la creme from all those countries,
It's right.
So I remember contesting. I didn't get the popular vote because, remember, you're split into different groups in the top 20. Is it the top 24 stage? Groups of 6. I think it was 4 groups of 6. So from those groups, they needed to choose 2 people who automatically made it to the top 10 stage.
Right.
So I didn't get the votes. I hadn't made people fall in love with me at that stage. And the judges gave me a chance. I was what was called a wild card, a judge's wild card, where the judges get to choose 2 contestants who did not get the popular vote to fill up the house to make it top 10.
Right.
So I made it to the top 10 stage. We stayed in a very beautiful house in beautiful Kenya. And, hey, my sister, let me take you back a little bit.
Go ahead.
For me to continue contesting in Idols,
Mm-hmm.
I had to quit my job because, mind you, I contested in CBZA Academy in 2006, contested again in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
2007, I had to stay in what was called the A house, you
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
house for all the contestants. So it stretched for months. I think we stayed there for 2 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
And as a person who who didn't have many leave days anyway, I exhausted my leave days in the A Academy stage. So when the Idol stage came, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have any days. So I was literally given an ultimatum. They gave me a paper, a writing pad, and a pen to say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you make the decision now. Do you want to continue singing so
Mm-hmm.
that you resign and allow us to get somebody to do this job that you're doing? You're good at doing this job that you're doing. I had been promoted 5 times at that point already in
Wow.
that company within a period of 5 years.
Wow.
So they said, okay, make the decision now. And I
Mhm.
didn't think twice about it. I didn't even think of what would happen if I lost the competition that side.
Wow.
Because
Powerful.
after resigning, you have to win.
Don't win. The odds are against you. It's 50% chance that you're gonna win or lose. Yeah. Yeah. I'm loving how for you it was you didn't even think twice. It was just and for me that's the power of passion that you're bringing out there. That I mean there was not two ways about it with regards to your passion that you had. Yeah.
Amen. Amen. When you believe in something, my sister,
Mhm.
you just can't give up. You can't give up.
I
You
love
can't give up on your dream. You can't be the kind of person who relies on other people to encourage you concerning your dream.
I love
They don't feel what you feel. The
Mhm.
calling is upon you, not them. There's
Mm.
a wise man, actually, my sister. Speaking about that, sorry, I talk too much. I really get excited when I talk about encouraging people out there. There's a wise artist, a wise gospel artist, who once said, "Do not be angry with them when they don't support you, because they don't they don't feel they don't feel about your brand the way you feel about your brand.
I love
They don't see what you see,
Mm.
you know? So when you ask for somebody to sponsor your dream and they don't sponsor you, it's not because they hate you, but they just don't see things in the perspective in which you see them.
Deep, deep. I love that. Whew.
Amen.
I mean, for me, that I just loved what you said right there because I guess a lot of times we assign our lives to the mercy of other people, our purposes, our dreams, and when they
Yeah.
don't feel the same way, we resign. And I love how
Mm.
you just bring that out. Well, okay, yeah, keep going without experience of the idols and all.
Yeah, in conclusion to that particular story, I'm happy to say that I made it to the top six stage,
Mhm.
um, which is 6 places ahead of what I had asked God for.
Wow,
Remember, I only asked God to be in the top 12 stage,
wow,
and the Lord made it all possible. I got into the top 10. Then I made it to the top 6, where I didn't get enough votes and I was voted off.
yeah,
But that was a blessing in disguise, and I didn't know it at that time.
wow.
But maybe I don't want to go ahead of you, my sister, because that
Oh, it's okay.
that
Go ahead.
story ties
Mhm.
it ties closely with the after idols.
No, okay.
Remember, I told
Go
you.
ahead and share it so that I mean the things kind of marry each other. Go ahead and share it. Hmm.
Remember, my sister, you're coming from a season of being celebrated on CBZA Academy. Everybody is screaming my name within my country.
Hmm.
It's difficult to get into public transportation because everybody's like, wow, everybody's just excited to be in your presence.
Hmm.
And then you the fame goes away, and then you go for idols, and then the fame blows up and becomes this huge thing.
Yeah.
You become celebrated even in countries that don't speak the same language as you. They can't even pronounce your name well.
Mhm.
So I'm coming from that place and having to face the reality of not having a job back home. I don't have money to pay the bills. I
Mhm.
don't have money to do anything.
Mm.
So that was a very, very challenging time in my life. And I need to emphasize on that, because when people see the end product, when
Mhm.
they see Mkhululi today in 2020,
Mhm.
they don't even stop for a moment to think. They think Mkhululi always grew up with a silver spoon in his
Mhm.
mouth. They don't stop to think that this guy has been hungry. He has slept on an empty stomach before. This
Wow.
guy has worn one pair of shoes year
Wow.
in, year out, one suit that he didn't even buy, that was passed down to him by his brother. You wear that suit until they begin to call you one way in church. That is the story of my life. You know what I mean?
Wow. That is something. Thanks for sharing that, because I think, like you're saying, we see the grand, the glitz, the glam, but we have no
Yeah,
clue. And when we go through our struggles, we think, why me? Yet, I
yeah,
mean, this has been happening to everybody. And I love
yeah,
how you share this, that, what you see is not always what it has always been. And that means you have to keep going. You have to
yeah.
keep going nonetheless. So I really love what you're saying, and I just wanted to highlight some of the comments that were coming through. Pastor T is saying about being true, that it's you who feels the fire, and people are just less that about the profound wisdom. There's no need to hate people who don't support your vision. So indeed,
Amen.
I really love that. So yeah, and then so you wanted to talk about how this tied up with the other part of your life, coming from this whole season where you no longer had a job, no money, no food, things like that. How did things turn out for you after that?
My sister, for somebody who may be who may be going through something similar,
Mhm.
don't be surprised when things get a bit worse before they get better, because
Oh.
that is kind of the dynamic of the whole thing. you
Mhm.
know the Lord answers our prayers in different seasons. So
Mhm.
don't be angry at your neighbor because there's something green in their garden, and your garden seems to be barren, and nothing is cropping up. So let me
Yeah.
tell you something, my sister. After idols, I remember I had to sell my car.
Mm.
I had to sell my cell phone. The car took care of the bills and everything else. And then months later, I had to sell my cell phone, because the thing with bills is they just keep piling up and piling up. You can take care of them for this month,
Mhm.
but they will
Keep
continue
going.
accumulating in the
Right.
coming months.
Mm.
So I remember making that fateful decision, a decision that seemed like a horrible decision at the time, but it's the decision
Mm.
that defined my path.
Mhm.
That decision of selling my cell phone
Mhm.
to get travelers checks. Remember a time when Zimbabweans needed to get travelers checks worth
Mm.
2,000 rand in order to get into South Africa.
Yes, I
That
do.
is the story of my life. I was one of those guys, and I had to sell my very first smartphone, which was a consolation prize from Idols.
Mhm.
So after selling that phone and making my way to South Africa, I stayed at a man of God's house. There's a man of God we used to fellowship with. It's good that you speak about family of God and all of those things. Our previous church,
Mhm.
you know, there's a man of God who used to fellowship there at the time.
Mhm. Mhm.
But then when he moved to South Africa, he established his own ministry.
Okay.
Now, what happened was that man of God, together with his wife, his lovely wife, took me into their house,
Wow.
and I served in their church. Now, please, my sister, underline the word serve.
Yeah.
I didn't work for money. I
Okay.
didn't ask for anything.
Mm-hmm.
All I needed was a roof above my head. I ate what they ate,
Uh-huh.
I shared their resources, drank the same water that they were drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I was a celebrity. I was a celebrity. So I
Mm-hmm.
could have said, no, man of God, can you get me bottled water? Because this tap water makes my skin get pimples. So I stayed there. I humbled myself, served in the church. And as I was busy serving in the church, little did I know that the woman of God had so much influence over, she had a very huge
Mm-hmm.
sphere of friends, like a broad sphere of friends.
Wow.
So she had contacts with the likes of Abo Babu Lindelani Mkhize, the
Ah,
principals of Joy Celebration. So
ah.
when she was discussing with them, they said they were looking for new talent, preferably from Zimbabwe. And
Mm.
she said, yeah, I've got my boy there in church. He's serving diligently. They said, can he sing? She said, yeah, he can sing. They said, okay, we'll take your word for it. He doesn't even need to come for auditions.
What? You didn't go for
I'm
audition?
telling you, I didn't go for auditions. All they did was they
Who
asked.
auditions into Joyas where you really have to prove yourself? Wow,
That's true.
God,
That's true.
look at God, look at God.
They,
Wow.
they just asked for they just asked for footage from church. They
Mm-hmm.
just asked for footage for me in my comfort zone because they said, okay, calling him in for an audition might downplay what he usually does,
Mm-hmm.
because I think at the time they'd already labeled me as a David of the time.
I love that.
So the principals watched those videos and I was called to become a part of Joy Celebration. From then onwards,
Just
my life changed. It was like,
wow. I also love how you talk about how you served without expecting anything. And I think so many times we can be so focused on what do I get from this? Who am I? Do people realize who I am? Rather than just being in that space and serving. And because there are seasons in life. And I'm loving how the seasons just shifted for you from that place and then they get worse. And then all of a sudden there's an open door where you're like, life has changed totally. Wow, I love that.
amen.
Yeah, yeah.
There's power in service, my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just to reiterate on that, God bless those who want to be paid by their home churches. God bless you. I bear no grudges against you, and I do not even have a right to dictate what you should do in your home church.
Mm-hmm.
But for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking from my personal experience. The
Yeah.
good thing with my story is I I tell it from my perspective. I
Right.
am the one who lived my story. I am the
Right.
one living my story. So
Mm-hmm.
I am the best interpreter of my story.
Right.
And I can assure you
Mm-hmm.
that my breakthrough, my turning point in life
Mm-hmm.
came as a result of me taking that decision to say, I am going to serve the Lord in this place, in this house, even if nothing ever comes my way, nothing good ever comes my way, I am content. This is what I am willing to do for the rest of my life. And
Wow.
once you do that,
Mm-hmm.
you know what really moves God is when you show him the kind of faith that you have in him. When you say, okay, there's no plan B,
Mm-hmm.
you are my plan A to Z.
Ah!
There is no other plan. So if you don't come through for me,
Mm-hmm.
then this is it. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Sorry, I talk too much, my sister, man.
I'm loving these nuggets because those are the powerful things that people need to hear. That when you know that God is your plan A and A and A and A, no plan B, and that
Yeah,
part of service and learning from those experiences. Because I think sometimes we get it all wrong. We want to be served before we serve. You know,
yeah,
I really love that.
yeah.
Share with us this experience when your life totally shifted. We started seeing you on TV. We're like, Joyce, and we see you. We are all amazed. Tell us how this was. Tell us this experience. Were there any highs? Were there any lows? What was going on
Ish.
there?
Oh, my sister, every time I get asked that question, I am torn between telling you the hard truth
Mhm.
or just the truth.
Wow.
because there's several versions of the truth
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to that whole experience. Somebody might say that, okay, well, you get into joyous celebration. You're now celebrated all across the world. You have traveled to 25 countries repeatedly. Countries like the UK, have been there like 8 to 10 times. I lost count. Suriname, South America, I've been there so many times. I went to Asia, New Zealand. I'm even losing count. I'm forgetting the names of the countries.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. In as much as that is so good, it's really good to step on new territories. It's really good to have an experience of how people receive you and how they consume your music in those parts of the world. But this journey has got very, very high highs and very low lows, if I
Right.
can put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's got very low lows. You'll get to a point where I remember there was a year when I was just operating on autopilot, where every country looked the same to me. I
Mm.
was so exhausted, my sister,
Okay.
so
Wow.
exhausted from all the traveling,
Mm.
because it begins off nicely.
Very
It
nice.
begins nice and exciting.
Uh-huh.
But then you get to a point where you're like, you feel empty because where you're going, you're constantly giving of yourself. You're giving, you're giving, you're giving, you're giving, you're giving. You don't even have time to attend regular church services because you're hopping from country to country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me not even um, let me not even uh, avoid not getting deeper into this cup that I'm talking about being filled in the church. You need to belong to a church.
Yeah.
And no matter how busy your schedule becomes, make time to go and drink from the fountain. Go
Absolutely
and drink from the fountain.
powerful.
Go
Right.
and fill your heart with that word, with that life-giving word. Go, and it also keeps you grounded. Because in my church, there's no superstar Mkhululi. It's Brother Mkhululi.
Mm-hmm.
An elder can send me to pick up papers on the church floor. An
Mm-hmm.
elder can send me to go and buy drinks for the guests, for
Mm-hmm.
the visitors in the
Right.
church. I'm not a visitor. I'm not a guest in my church.
You
You
are
know,
a member of the church.
I'm a member of the church and I serve.
Yeah.
So continue serving even after God has opened those doors for you. Continue serving diligently.
Mm-hmm.
Continue serving diligently. And okay, if I may just jump,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still talking about the laws. Some of the laws that I have experienced, my sister, came from in 2017, after being with Joy Celebration for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to hang my choir boots.
Mm-hmm.
No, I decided to hang my choir microphone. I think that sounds better.
Right. Right.
And said I'm gonna record my own solo album.
Right.
Now, my sister,
Mm-hmm.
I always thought I had experienced life.
Okay.
I didn't know that I would experience life in its fullness,
Wow.
the good and the ugly,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
after taking that decision to
Mm-hmm.
go on a solo path.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It is hard. It is hard.
Woo.
Because with Joy Celebration,
Mm-hmm.
they will they will they will provide everything. They provide a good stage for you, world class stage.
Mm-hmm.
They will provide a good uniform, tailor made to
Mm-hmm.
suit your body, only your body,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Mm-hmm.
and they will provide you with good lighting. They
Mm-hmm.
will provide you with good sound. They will give you even the best microphone. All you have to do is appear and sing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have to do all of that by yourself, you
Right.
get to discover the true nature of the musical industry
Mm-hmm.
as a business, as an industry.
Mm-hmm.
Very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Wow. So this was a reality check for you, being responsible and stuff like that. So I mean, walk us through one of the like when you move from that phase, any specific event for you that you remember in terms of the laws, and you're like, okay, this was one day I felt like yeah, things are happening, or one incident, something like that. You can take us back to something like that when you move to that level.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, I will give you a specific example of yeah, my recording is a good example, eh?
Okay. Okay.
Now I have released my poster.
Mm-hmm.
I have released my poster.
Mm-hmm.
And I've published it on Facebook. On
Right.
Facebook, I've got 5,000 friends, and at the time, I think I had about 30,000 to 40,000 fans on my fan page. On
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, I think I was on 20K,
Wow.
20,000 followers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now I release the poster and say, guys, I know some of you or most of you here will not even be able to make it for my concert. All I am asking for is for you to hit the share button. Just hit share.
Mm-hmm.
Just hit share.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think this is a story for another day
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about the deception of social media. I think we really need to have a session where we talk about the deception of social media and how it can really destroy your self esteem, how it can destroy your faith, how it can really tamper with your walk with God. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine people on Facebook. I have posted, ne? They are
Mm-hmm.
not sharing, but they are coming. Well, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are coming and commenting on my post. Man, we will be there. We will support you in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
On the day, my sister, to cut the long story short, on the day of the recording, I remember 21 tickets had been sold.
Did you say you had 5,000 people and 20,000 and all of that fans and stuff like that?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
after receiving 10,000 or 5,000 likes on the poster, after receiving hundreds of comments from people who are saying, no, we will be there full force. Some are saying, no, I want to buy 10 tickets for just to donate. Some are saying, and my sister, let's just say I'm still waiting for those 10 tickets to be bought, because come the day of the recording, as I said, when I looked at the online sales,
Uh-huh.
I discovered that only 21 tickets had been sold, and I had a 1,600, is it 1,500 and something seater venue.
Mm. Whew.
So that was a low.
Ah,
Coming to the realization that, you
mm,
know, I am not, these guys are not with me as much as I would assume they are with me.
mm,
At the end of the day, only your family remains, you know,
right.
only your close
Mm,
inner circle remains. And even from that inner circle, there are some who will support you in words, but when it comes to actions, they will not support. So that is a very low.
wow. How did you handle? Like, yeah. Wow, that was low. That was low. And indeed, I think the truth, like about social media, I think it can be so deceptive. And I think a lot of us are waiting for the likes because we feel the likes really, really mean people are for us. But yet it's just a click of a button. Not
Yeah,
necessarily that it means that people are genuine about how they feel or what they're going or the actions they're going to take. Not that they're doing it
yeah.
from a bad place, they're people. And I think one place I heard you saying, people don't owe you anything. I think I heard you saying
Oh,
something,
yeah.
you know,
Yes.
you know,
Mhm, mhm.
like I think that resonates with what you're saying right there. Maybe you want to just comment on that.
Yeah. There's a statement that I love to share, because you see, my sister, once all of that happens, you could be um, tempted to go into a dark place
Mm.
where you begin getting angry at people
Yeah, resentment.
for
Yeah.
things that they don't owe you.
Hmm.
The dream is yours. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you a like. Nobody owes you a share. Nobody owes you anything, especially on social media.
Right.
It's social media. They are there to socialize with us.
Mm-hmm.
Even our enemies, you know, even those who hate us, even those who despise us, are still there. monitoring our every move, and
Mm.
they don't owe us anything. They don't owe. Once you grasp that principle,
Mhm.
once you really come to terms with that realization
Mm.
of people not owing you anything, you
Right.
will live a very, very peaceful life.
Absolutely. I love that. Wow, that is so deep, and for me it really makes me think a lot, that, I guess a lot of times we assign a lot of things of our lives, and we say, I did this for a person, or I have done this for so and so. Definitely they should do the same for me, or,
Ah.
sense of entitlement. And we think that people, they actually owe us something. And I love that, people don't owe us anything, and that's something you have to remind yourself every single day, and you will have so much peace, like you're saying. So I thank you guys for joining. We're seeing your comments. We do want to focus on the story as well, but thanks, Farikero, to saying the deception of social media. I like that the real relationships are not on Facebook. That's true. And Pastor T is saying, oh my God, that's in the words with the dialogue starting this Saturday. Conduct unbecoming on and social media. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, these are real things. This is real. This is someone's life. You tell them you are going to be there, and 12 people are showing up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's reality. So yeah, I love you sharing these low moments. Maybe you could also share with us some of the high moments, some of the moments where you felt, wow, this is happening. And or incredible moments for you where you saw the hand of God, or whatever it is that that you really might want to share with us today.
Thank you so much, Samu, for starting with the low moments, because there is something that happens to me whenever I narrate the low moments. No matter how many times I narrate the same story over and over and over and over again, it still stings. Not to say I've not completely healed from it, but
Yeah, right,
it's a really dark place. It's a really dark place, and
right.
I love what you said about. Okay, no, let me leave it there. Let me leave it there and go to the high moments.
Mhm,
Now, picture this.
mhm,
I am in South Africa.
mhm,
I have just joined Joy Celebration. I'm still a newbie. I'm barely 2 years with the
mhm.
Joy Celebration Choir,
Yeah.
and I still pinch myself every now and then, just to figure out if all of this is real, if my life is real, if I am actually one of the choir members, standing there with some of the gospel greats,
Mhm.
people that I grew up, being inspired by, the likes of Patrick Duncan, Pastor Patrick Duncan,
Yes.
the likes of Uche Agu. My
Yes.
God is good. He's there.
Yes.
Everybody's just there.
Guys, yes.
Pastor Jabu Hlongwane is there. Pastor Mtunzi Namba. So I'm still in a state of being starstruck.
Mm. Wow.
And there I receive an email from a beautiful country called Trinidad and Tobago.
Mhm.
Somebody just says, please confirm if you are the guy who sings Tambira Jehovah. I would love to book you for a concert in Trinidad and Tobago. I said, Tofia, God, the devil is a liar. Who would want to book me? Like for what? Because in my mind I was telling myself you only book people like with a proven track record,
Mm.
people with something to give. At that time, I didn't even think I had something of value to offer. I'm still asking myself if I belong
Mm.
in that joy celebration space, because there's a lot of talent there. There
Wow.
is a lot of talent there.
Yeah.
So I asked the guy, okay, just to confirm if I am the person you are looking for, please send me a screenshot of the video. Just a screenshot, just a photo of
Couldn't
the
believe it. Unbelief like Sarah.
you know what I mean? Unbelief at its worst level. So the guy sends the screenshot, and I was like, wow. So this guy really is looking for me. So I got excited about that. It was a very high high. I'm not even going to talk about the whole being on the aeroplane on an international flight for the very first time, crossing the Atlantic Ocean, you know, getting into the United Kingdom for the very first time after another promoter had told me that I would never set foot in the UK, you know, landing there, even if it was just for a connecting flight to Trinidad and Tobago, I had broken the barrier
Yes.
in the name of Jesus Christ.
I-
And from there,
Mhm.
the doors just opened. I've been there a couple of times since then.
Mhm.
So that was a very high, my sister. Getting to share the same hotel as Pastor Donnie McClurkin, you know, one of the best, one of the most respected gospel ministers of our time. You know, he has his own suite there. I've got my own suite there. I've got people assigned to me. I've got an entourage. It
Wow.
was beautiful.
Wow.
And then the last one, of course. Well, don't I know this broadcast is being watched, or it will be watched by a lot of people who have invited me to different places. So this is not to say that I am undermining where you've invited me to, but I'm just highlighting those moments that really stuck out in the little time that I still have left on this interview. So there's a country called Suriname in South America.
Mhm.
Now, in that country, they don't speak English.
Mhm.
They don't speak Shona. They don't speak Debele. Actually, they don't speak any African language.
Mhm.
So I get to that country, and if when I saw the poster, you see, with Trinidad and Tobago, Pastor Donnie McClurkin's face was there, and it was big. And
Mhm.
then there was my tiny face there underneath.
Yeah.
So when I saw the people in attendance in Trinidad and Tobago, it was natural for me to think they are here for Pastor Donnie.
Right. Right.
But in Suriname, it's only my face, and even the picture on the poster, my sister, you can see that poverty was still, poverty, hunger was still there. You can tell that, you can actually feel sorry for me and say, this guy, hmm, he missed death. So there's a picture of mine there,
Mhm.
looking very sorry, looking very sad.
Yeah.
Now, my surprise comes in when we are driving from my hotel room
Mhm.
to the venue. It was a Saturday evening. So we are driving, and I'm asking myself, why is there so much traffic at 10 p.m.? Because I
Mhm.
was picking up around that time to go and quickly jump on stage. So I'm asking the promoter, why so much commotion? You guys love to party so much, eh? You guys are enjoying life this side. The guy looks at me and says, my brother, these people, this traffic that you're seeing, these guys they are going for you.
Wow.
And
Wow.
mind you, mind you, I'm coming from a group. I'm coming from a place where people celebrate us as a group, not as a solo artist.
Right.
So that, you know, having to realize that those people are actually
Yeah.
here for me it's amazing.
Wow. I think you just felt all emotion just, hitting you there. That and how was the setup at the show? You're saying these people didn't speak your language and all of that, but they all came to see you.
They all came to see me, and the funniest thing is that I never knew that those people knew my music the way I thought they did. I
Wow.
never knew they knew Zimbabwean music. I never knew anybody besides a Zimbabwean can sing the language of Shona
Hmm.
better than myself.
Wow.
Those guys were singing the songs word for word. Tambira Jehovah, they sang it word for word. And
Wow.
mind you, at the time, when I went to Trinidad or to Suriname for the very first time, I only had one popular song, which was Tambira Jehovah. We had just recorded Ichokwadi, but Ichokwadi was not popular in those parts of the world. So I've got one popular song. But let me tell you something, my sister, even with all the choruses, the Jesua Kanakaya, all those choruses, people enjoyed them and they fell in love with them. And I became a household name. And to prove that they loved what I did, I have been invited to that country every year
Wow.
since 2013.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a high. That is definitely a high. And you know what fascinated me, like the moment you were talking about that, the first invitation, like you were like, no, it can't be true. No one could see me. You know how like we see ourselves, but we don't see ourselves the real way God sees us and the value we genuinely have. We downplay it and we're like, I mean, I'm just part of the group, you know? And you know,
Yeah.
just realizing that no, before God, and maybe even in your country, you might not have been so accepted. But there's a
Exactly.
place for you. God can just create a place you have no idea about where you get
Yeah.
accepted. That's amazing for me. That's definitely amazing for me. So wow,
Profound. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, I love your testimony because I think it's so real, and I'm seeing so much of the hand of God in so many parts of your journey, and it's like it wasn't really much of your efforts. Like you're saying, how do you know that people are going to come in those numbers, you know, and just gather for you? I love that. So yeah, I don't know if there are any other high or points or things that you might want to highlight on your journey that you think we might have missed. I know you told me that I should keep time with you today. So yeah. So I don't know if there are any other highs or other moments or lessons that you learned along your journey that you might want to share with us. Yeah.
Um, my sister, as I said before, this journey has really not been an easy one.
Mhm,
And I just want everybody who's watching this, especially the upcoming artists, I really have a passion and a burden for upcoming artists
mhm,
and anybody who is still trying to be somebody in whatever they're trying to do. You might be a host, you might have come up with your show. You might have, you might just be starting off with something.
mhm, mhm.
It will not always be easy.
Yeah.
It was never meant to be easy. You
Right.
know, you'll discover in this journey. Let me just spare you the pain of having to discover. Without like some inside information.
Mhm,
The people who will hurt you, actually the people who have potential to hurt you
mhm,
and like throw you off from the course of your dream are those you expect to do something for you, those you have done something for before,
right.
those those you feel are mandated, you've given them reason to
Mhm,
stand with you in your time of need. Let
right.
me give you a news flash: those people will not come through for you. They will not come through for you. And even if they do, the few that will do, um, you will still want to hang on to the other bit that didn't come through for you. So get over that. Get over that.
Right.
Know that it's you and God.
Right.
Let every other person who decides to lend a hand be a bonus,
Right.
but know that it's
Mm,
you and God. Just
right.
like David, learn to look yourself in the mirror and encourage yourself. There
Right.
are days when there are days when I've found myself crying. I look in the mirror and say, Ish, but Father, like, is this it? Like, are you done with me? Are
Mhm,
you done with me? Is this the exceedingly and abundantly that you speak of in Ephesians 3 verse 20? You
mhm,
know,
mhm.
so learn to encourage yourself in the Lord. It's okay to encourage yourself.
Right.
And also, while still at that subject, learn to invest. In as much as you may not get much returns, but invest in people.
Mm,
Invest in people. Don't
mhm.
only invest in people you stand to benefit from.
Right.
Invest in people that you stand to benefit nothing from,
Right.
because that takes the greatest sacrifice.
Right.
When you agree to feature somebody who is an unknown in your album,
Mm,
you are investing into their future. You
mm,
can't you can't always want to be the one who is featured by artists who are more established than you
mm,
before you actually get to feature somebody who looks up to you and they've not made it in the industry.
right.
Let us love one another. Let us be there for one another. Be be the change that you want to see.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
I really love that, especially when you talk about expectation and hurt that comes from expectation. That we have so many expectations a lot of times to people around us. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's friends. We have invested and we are hoping because I showed up for you. I'm counting on the fact that you're going to show up for me. And when they don't, that hurts. That hurts really,
yeah,
really bad. And I love how you then draw us to say, you have yourself and God, you know,
yeah,
and you need to be focused on celebrating you, trusting in God at the same time, but not even stopping there. Still, invest in others, even when others don't invest in you.
yeah,
I mean, I just love that dynamic that it's as if it's not working out for you, but I think somewhere in the future you will reap from people you never even saw. Like, the incident you talk about in that country where fans from Norway. Imagine you try to do your show in your country and 21
yeah.
people show up. And then in a country where nobody knows you, thousands show up. So for me, I think that dynamic is very amazing. Wow, I love that. I don't know
Amen.
if you have any other words to speak to our guests. Maybe let me just raise in on the comments. People are saying, Kara is saying, I think you booked me to talk to me. Kara is
Wow.
blessed by this. Thanks to Carol, each word is hitting a target in my heart. My dream is between me and God. Anyone who comes alongside is a blessing. I must invest in people. And Pastor T is saying that's the message right there. Invest in others, not only in those you think will get you something. So yeah, guys, this has been a powerful, powerful time. And the thing is with Mkhululi, to be honest with you, he has so much to tell on his journey. And especially for the lessons, I will encourage you. He's got his YouTube page. Go to his YouTube page, check out his videos. He actually tells like stages of his life stories in detail, like every detail. And I think he shares so many powerful lessons to for whatever dream. If your dream is music, it's powerful. But for me, I have my own dream. A lot of what he said spoke volumes to me. And I know we can only feature him for just a little bit here. So follow him, listen to his wisdom nuggets, because they would definitely bless you. So yeah, I want you to speak to a guest. Someone is there, they came, and they're gonna watch the replay whenever, you know. I know you say this one powerful thing to me this other time, and you were saying your story is a story of grace, and you can't take credit. I don't know what you would want to say to someone out there. They have this dream, they're gunning for something, or they are in the moment of the low or whatever it is. What might you want to say in your last words to a guest?
As you said, I really have a lot to say, but maybe just to be brief about it, I want to reach out to that person who is just about to give up on their dream. I was there before, not once, not twice, not three times, not four times, but
Oh,
many times.
wow.
But let me tell you something. You really need to learn to protect your dream. It's your baby. It's like, I'll give you an example. When I recorded my album,
Mm-hmm.
I used to post about it. I used to tell people, please go out and get my album. Even when I started my YouTube channel, please go out and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then I got to a point where I was like, no, maybe I'm boring people. Maybe because I didn't get as much engagement as I would have loved to get.
Uh-huh.
So remember, that's your dream. That's your baby.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't raise your baby, if you don't push your own dream,
Right.
who do you expect to push it for you?
Powerful.
Use the little space that you have, use the little platform that you have. You might have 20 friends on Facebook, but that's your audience.
Hmm.
Bombard them with your work until they begin to see the level of seriousness with which you take it. And once people see how serious you are with your dream, they
Mhm.
will begin to take it seriously. I am a living testimony to that. you
Wow.
know I now get more engagement on posts having to do with my music than I used to get 3 years ago.
Mm.
because people see that this guy loves his music. This
Ah.
guy takes himself seriously. So learn to encourage yourself every time. It's not easy.
Mhm.
It's not easy. I know somebody may be saying, no, Mkhululi, but no, you're speaking from a point of privilege. People of God, I have been there before. I've been there. What you're going through, I've been through it. So
Mhm.
don't give up. Protect and safeguard your dream.
Mm.
Who knows? Maybe God has called you to fulfill that dream so that you can raise other people and make sure that they don't get to that low that you are in.
Right.
Bless you.
Cool. Well, that last part was definitely for me. I love.
Amen.
Thank you for ministering to me because you're right. A lot of times, you get tired and you think, what am I even doing? Does this even, and like you're saying, like that experience of yours that you don't see people engaging back to you, but you're still pushing the dream. And you feel like, why am I wasting time? You get those moments like, let me just leave this. What the heck? But like how you're saying, it's your baby. You have to
Yeah,
push it. If you don't
yeah,
push it, no one will. It's
yeah,
a matter of time. And the
yeah.
key is never, ever give up. That spoke
Amen.
volumes to me. And I want to thank you so much for that. And I believe to so many other people who are out there. Yeah, and indeed our time is up. I know you should be rushing, but I really, really want to appreciate you so, so, so much for pouring into us. I have learned so many lessons. I've been encouraged, and I've learned one of the greatest lessons you taught me today is to encourage myself in the Lord, to encourage myself because so many laws come our way. And like you're saying, you've been there, it's real. That's the reality of pushing a dream. But learn to
Yeah.
encourage yourself, learn to trust in God. And thank you to everybody who's joining and everybody who's joined us today. I really want to appreciate you all for joining us. Yeah, Sis Carol was saying David was overlord, Joseph prison to palace. I love your authenticity, Mkhululi. I love that too. You're so real with
Amen.
you're so real with us. A lot of people find it hard to get in touch with these people like you. They are so up there, so high up
Wow.
there, and you can't really connect with them. And I love that we can all connect with you. So bless you so much. And yeah, maybe we can get you back one another time because I know you got so many lessons. So I'll catch up with you another time. And I know I want to talk about the whole thing on social media and stuff like that. And just
Yeah.
keep on encouraging each other so that we all become who God has called us to be. You are that David, and you are pursuing your dream and your purpose. God bless you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. And I guess we can call it a wrap. And yeah, thank you to everybody. So we are ending right now. Bless you guys. Bye bye.